Let it be on record that I, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, I'm not against the appointment of whoever you recommended, but under the current circumstance and the fact that if today you want to interview 100 or even 1,000 qualified people for this position from Rivers, you will get it to choose from. Federal character, section 14.3, reflects that. And as he rightly said, we should not, as a Senate, just approve or think that what is being done is not against the Constitution. We are supposed to be guided by more than Constitution. We are supposed to be guided by the conscience. We are the highest decision-making body in this country politically. Please, please, I beg you in the name of God, because the history will be there. If there is nobody appropriately, if the argument you are giving me now is that you want to get somebody out of Rivers so that the person that will be in charge of this will be unbiased in any way, that is a different thing. But the people should be carried along. Thank you.
That was Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, the senator representing Borno South, lending his voice to the opposition against the imposition of a non-indigene of Rivers State as the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through his sole administrator in Rivers State. It was an occasion that caused an uproar in the Senate over the confirmation of Michael Odey from Cross River State as the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Despite strong opposition from several lawmakers in the Senate, like Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, the Senate went ahead and approves Michael Odey's appointment as the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, following the submission of a report by the ad hoc committee on the emergency rule in Rivers State, led by Senate leader Opayemi Bamidele. Many senators had protested the choice, saying it is politically insensitive to appoint a non-indigene to oversee elections in a state already under a state of emergency. But of course, you and I know that the presidency is in Rivers State for state capture, and that is what they have just done as part of the process of the state capture of Rivers State ahead of 2027 election. They were able to do this because the elders of Rivers State, the people of Rivers State, surrendered their power to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There are many states that it would have been difficult for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go and put a state of emergency. The kind of state of emergency he put in Rivers State, they can't try it in Kano and get away with it. But he has done it in Rivers. Now to look at how absurd the whole thing is, you know that the sole administrator of Rivers State, appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Vice Admiral Embarked Ebas, is also from Cross River State. In other words, the Cross River State sole administrator of Rivers State appointed his own brother, quote and unquote, from the Cross River State to come and oversee the election in Rivers State so that they can easily capture Rivers for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is what all this is all about. It's all about state capture. Because how do you explain that you impose a 6-month state of emergency? Why are you so desperate about conducting local government election in Rivers State? What is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's, what is he looking for in Rivers State that he want to conduct local government election? Because whether you like it or not, the local government election in Rivers State, they are planning to conduct before Fubara can return. Is being conducted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu because right now he is the governor of Rivers State. He is the one that appointed, after sacking the governor, Tinubu is in charge. He only appoints the sole administrator to help him to be running Rivers State. And he wants to conduct local government election before Fubara will return. Because you know that Fubara had already appointed Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission chairman. What was the offense of that man that he appointed? The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission chairman appointed by Fubara that conducted the October 5, 2024 local government election in Rivers State that was considered free and fair until the Supreme Court intervened. What was the offense of that man that he has to be removed? He has to be removed because they want somebody who will play the role they want him to play, to capture the state for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of the election. So they want to set up their own structure. There is no other way to explain this kind of thing. You know that Fubara, despite all his faults, stood his ground and conducted the October 5, 2024 local government election, following the directive by the Supreme Court that no state will get allocation if it allows unelected sole administrators or unelected caretaker committee chairman in the local government that they must conduct election. In fact, the day Rivers conducted the election, Akwa Ibom also conducted their election. There were other states that conducted their election, but it was only the Rivers State own that had K-leg, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Minister of the FCT they have interest in Rivers State. They were alarmed that Fubara could be able to conduct it, because when Fubara conducted it and the local government chairmen were installed, that was the beginning of the end of the so-called structure that Wike, the Minister of the FCT, was fighting for. Because by that action, Fubara set up new structures in Rivers State. And that was the end of the Wike structure. But they couldn't take that. When they saw that they could not impeach him, then they imposed a state of emergency. Because you can't tell me, imagine Obasanjo conducting local government election in Plateau State in 2004. Is that the essence of state of emergency? You impose state of emergency because of insecurity. So what is your business about local government election? If you are sincere, if what you are doing in Rivers is altruistic, is in interest of Rivers, in interest of democracy, you have to wait until Fubara returns so that he will be the one to conduct local government election. The Supreme Court is insisting that local government election must have democracy. Is this a democracy? a sole administrator, an appointee, undemocratic. The Nigerian Bar Association sees Ebas as an impostor, an alien to the Constitution. Go and look at how the Nigerian Bar Association had described his appointment. But he is going to conduct election, and when they conduct that election, local government chairman will be sworn in. There is so much wrong in the whole process. But that is the Nigeria we have today. That is the democracy we are practicing today. Under the guise of state of emergency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has recaptured Rivers State for yes or weekend. Because you can bet when they do this local government election, the people that will sweep it, the chairman will be all that people that are loyal to yes or weekend. So that they will use it to further political interest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because if that is not the case, what is the business of the president prioritizing local government election at this time? And to make the matters worse, you are bringing in a non-indigene. I have seen people give an example, even in the Senate floor. The Deputy Senate President gave an example that in Abia State, the head of service of Abia State is from Edo State, and nobody is complaining. Even if nobody is complaining in Abia State, we are talking about Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission chairman that will conduct election that will determine who becomes local government chairman or councillor in Rivers State. He's not an indigene of that state. Now, Alindume made a point. He said that if they had said that maybe they want to bring an independent person to conduct the election who is not from Rivers State, perhaps for fairness, it would have made some difference. But the truth of the matter remains that there is no state in Nigeria today where the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission is not an indigene of that state. Has that disqualified the election? No. Because you are indigene of a state doesn't mean you cannot conduct free and fair election. The one that was cancelled by the Supreme Court was conducted by indigene of Rivers State, and it was considered free and fair until Supreme Court intervened. And you and I know what Supreme Court means. Supreme Court cannot always give their verdict, but the verdict of the people, you can't steal that verdict from the house of the people. To the people of Rivers State, they feel cheated what the Supreme Court did. But then, Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. So when you look at the whole thing playing out in Rivers State, it epitomizes the danger democracy is facing in Nigeria, where a state was declared state of emergency just for political reasons. The Nigerian Bar Association have said that declaration of state of emergency was an illegality. It was purely motivated by politics, and we are seeing it all through as it's playing out. Because if it is not so, why the desperation to appoint Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission chairman, and for that commission to conduct local government election before Fubara will return? That's not your job. Fubara is the duly elected governor of Rivers State. He ought to return and conduct local government election in line with the constitution. But that is not what we are witnessing. It's a sad development, but that is the democracy we are witnessing in Nigeria. That's why you see people like Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, saying that the democracy is dying in Nigeria. And you cannot afford that when you are having this kind of situation. I don't know what to think about a non-indigene being appointed the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. And then the desperation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to conduct local government election in Rivers State before Fubara, the newly elected governor of Rivers State, returns. Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you, amigos.